Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Esteemed Gentlemen podcast for Thursday, March 11th. I am your host, Scott Labrie, and joined alongside me, as always, we have the big cat, Tyler Sunt.
Meow. Hello. I'm gonna stop meowing.
You're gonna stop.
I'm done.
Gotta let out a big roar next time. Huh?
Oh god, I'll have to chain smoke some cigarettes. Dude, roar. I'm gone Shrek.
And we have the man who can run all day, Eric Deshane.
Hello.
Fuck.
All day, run
All day.
Yeah.
Running all day.
So today we're gonna change things up a bit. You know, we're always talking about movies, TV shows, video games, but we haven't really talked about music. And this is actually Eric's topic, so I'll let you take it from here, Eric.
Well, no, my thought process was just that. We talk all the time about TV shows and movies and video games, and it's always going to talk about. But I know for myself personally, music plays a big part of my life. I'm not at all an instrument player, but I do listen to a lot of music all the time. So that's a topic I think we should discuss as well. So yeah, like I know for myself, growing up, it was a lot of country music and easy listening to stuff back in the day, but now my tastes have changed so much that I think I'm not the only one too as well with that, right? It's such a like it's you say, oh, I like this, but you can't just say I like that one thing anymore. Now it's a whole bunch of different stuff, right? So
yeah,
for me personally, it's lately I've been on a giant like a classic rock binge lately, and that's in like my playlist now for last few months here. It's been like old 80s hair metal and
yeah.
And just the classic Ozzy Osbourne and all the whole shit like that. So yeah, I mean, for you guys, probably the same thing, right? So it's just the different tastes now, and yeah, like I'm sure for you guys too, it's been like that. So
yeah, I mean, like growing up, like I wouldn't say like I was into music. Like if we were, I didn't have like a Discman until I was like probably like 10, 11 years old or something like that. Like I didn't really listen to music unless it was just like on the radio in the car. Even then, like my parents really didn't listen. Like if you go into my parents' vehicles these days, it's like the radio's on like 2 like volume. It's like barely audible at all. And I don't know, I just kind of grew up that way where it's like I'm not really into music all that much, but like eventually as I got older, then more of my friends are like, oh, listen to this song. So yeah, I eventually listened to that, but I was never really like one of those guys who's like, I'm only into heavy metal and that's all I listen to or something like that. I always like had different phases growing up, I guess.
Yeah, it's about the same for me. Like when I was little too, my parents were kind of like yours. They didn't really listen to music like at all. They would just have no music, and I don't understand how we made it on our family trips at Christmas time. We'd go visit our grandparents up in BC, and it'd be an 8-hour trip with no music. Like I don't even know how. Well, I would just tell stories the whole way up there, just come up with stupid stories because they just didn't listen to music.
Yeah,
and like when we were going to school, we obviously listened to whatever they were playing on the bus. So it was always AM, that 1310 CHLW, 790. So it was like country. It was just country and whatever. Like going to Maleg school, Cowboy Central. There, it's all country, all of it. And then a little bit of rock, like classic rock and stuff too. And but then you discover like, oh, there's more than just this. And then it's like, holy man, there's like a whole plethora of music that you can listen to. And yeah, like you are, like my taste changed I don't know how many times, but yeah, it was just kind of all over the place.
Yeah, because as well too, because 790 was like I come from a very like musically inclined family. Like I have a sister who can sing and play guitar. I have nieces and nephews who can sing, and sister-in-laws and everything else. So like it's a big part with that, aunts and uncles. So I always grew up around it, and 790 was always playing on the radios at home. Doing chores in the barn, milking cows, or driving grain truck in the summertime with the parents. Was always on. There was always music playing, right? So.
Oh yeah.
And then, but it was always country too. So, and then when you get older, you finally realize, oh yeah, there's like tons of different shit to listen to. And down CDs came bigger, and taste changed with that too. And I know back in high school, I started listening to a lot more like the Green Day was big back then, and Eminem was big back then. So all the alternative, all the anti-establishment music became big all of a sudden. So that was the list then. So
grade 5 and 6 is when that's when everything, all the music just kind of came out. Like we had Aqua, we had Blink 182, we had just every spectrum, and it was just like music is everything. This is
the hell,
because Big Shiny Tunes was coming out, so there's like all different kinds there. And
that was one thing I wanted to mention too. Like once Big Shiny Tunes came out, we had these compilations of all these different musics to listen to at once. And it was like, oh man, this is the And then because that too, we never had. All we had was FM stations. We never had and tape recorders never functioned properly or always broken. So it was just always the radio. And then CDs came out, and holy shit, look at all this stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, and then instead of just listening to Alan Jackson's greatest hits. All the time, just country music and Terry Clark and Shania Twain and all that.
I mean, nowadays I still have nostalgia for those older songs. Like I have a dedicated playlist on my phone of old '90s countries. I still love that stuff.
Yeah,
like I find the newer stuff now I find is a little too much garbage, but the older stuff is classic now. But back then I was like, okay, there's other stuff to listen to now.
Yeah, exactly. And then once the glorious discovery of CDs and downloading music and Napster and all that shit, LimeWire and whoever had the fastest internet, we always got them we'd buy the blank CDs and they would download them for us. They'd spend like a day or two downloading each song.
A song would take a day,
Yeah.
I remember like when that came out, we had dial up internet back then, and then, you click on the song, you go to bed, you wake up for school the next morning, it was still downloading. It's like a 4 megabit song. We're like, what the hell? Nowadays, it's like
this song's 6 minutes. It's gonna take 3 days for this one.
And now it's blink of your eye, it's done nowadays. It's like, oh my god! I used to see back then it would take forever to download the song. Oh geez.
Well, nowadays you don't even download song; you just stream.
Yeah, now it's streaming. Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so that's one thing. Now that not Discord, what the hell is it called? The where we share to all the time, not Discord. The big Spotify. Like now, that's how that's blown up. Still, like I should start that. I never listen to Spotify at all. Still, I'm older that way. I still download my music from iTunes pretty much. Yeah, I never listen to Spotify at all.
Yeah, I took the plunge like a few months ago, and I just deleted all the songs that I had on my phone. It was like it's just taking up space. Like. I have a subscription to Spotify. If I ever want to listen to any song, I just type it in the search and then it's there, right? It's like
so I'm still I'm very much old school that way. I guess I just prefer having my copy of a song. I guess I don't know. It's weird. But then on the computer here and editing or whatever else, I load up YouTube and it's all through streaming on YouTube. So that too, but. Still on my phone for my own private playlist, it's all paid for through iTunes. That's why I'm sticking with an iPhone because I don't want to lose my songs through iTunes.
Oh man, when I made the change from iPhone to Android, I lost all my iTunes. I don't even know my old account. Nothing. I must have had thousands of songs downloaded. They made thousands of dollars off me, man, over the years. I would buy each song or buy an album or whatever, and now it's all on there. And I'm a cheap bastard, so I just go on YouTube Music and then just even while I'm driving, just got the unlimited data plan and just listen to that. You got ads still here and there, but I mean, I could pay the whatever it is, $8 or $10, whatever it is a month to listen to Spotify Premium. But I'm a cheap ass, so
that's something that I think I should start doing now too with Spotify. But I don't know if I'm just I was the kind of guy who had that stack of deep CDs in the car, that fucking giant binder of 4
binders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
what are we listening to?
Of course, I flipped through the darn thing. It'd be full of CDs, hand me downs from my siblings. These are awesome. I went through it 5 times. I'm I don't know what I want to listen to. I'm all those choices. I still don't know what the hell to listen to. Still.
Yeah.
Just spoiled for choice, I guess. Even still nowadays,
Yeah, there's something nostalgic about looking at the CD covers,
the
cases, the little booklets they had, and they had the pictures, and then the about the artists, what they were up to, and what was inspiration for their songs and stuff. And now it's just whatever. It's just so much now that I don't even know where to begin, where to look. That's why when we have our get-togethers, Scott will be like, "Hey, listen to this song, the Back Foot by whatever that
Dinosaur Pilot, good song."
Okay, that's one of my favorites. It's for the past year now. That's all. It's always on my playlist every time now.
Yeah, it's a good party starter, I guess. I don't know.
For sure. And
So here's a question for you guys, and then I think of it. What was the last CD you guys remember buying?
God, God.
Yeah.
Last CD.
Last CD, you remember? I know what I have. I remember that one in my head. But I wonder what you guys have. Yeah.
Well, I technically didn't buy it, but the last CD I got
Like
was
physical CD. Yeah.
the Black Keys El Camino back in like 2011, I think.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, mine's right on the same year too. I think my last CD I bought.
Yeah.
When I was working for Precision Drilling, I was going up to Fort McMurray, and up by Mariana Lakes, there's only one gas station for like 150 kilometers. I stopped there in my car, and I was like, man, I'm running out of music to listen to. And I found a Johnny Cash Greatest Hit. There was like a 2-disc thing, and I bought just a Johnny Cash CD, and that's all I listened to for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
And it was, I think that's the last CD I ever bought, honestly.
Yeah. Mine, I realized now today after thinking about this, it was 10 years ago. It was Wasting Light by the Foo Fighters back in 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
10 years ago in April. I'm like, holy shit, the last CD I bought was that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Remember when that was brand new or just came out, it was big in the Foo Fighters, and wow, that's already 10 years. Holy crap.
Wow.
But yeah, that's like nowadays it's a dead media. Now no one even uses that anymore. It's
Yeah.
Exactly.
Blu-rays are going the same way and CDs now, and so.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that about how CDs. Like, we had a Christmas party at the place I used to work, and we all went bowling, and everybody got their names drawn for like little like gift exchange thing and whatever. I can't remember what the whole thing was because I was pretty piled up within the first 5 minutes of getting there. So sat down, and it's like, oh, Tyler, you won like a really cool CD binder and some CDs. I'm like, who the fuck still listens to CDs? And the boss looked at me like. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna regret this. Sure enough, I laid off like a year later. First one to go is gonna be you, bud. Just for that comment. Like, who the fuck listens to CDs anymore?
Drunk guy.
Just a drunk idiot. It's funny. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I always say stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
Did we want to go through kind of like what our music phases were?
Yeah, sure. If you guys can remember what they are, go ahead. Like,
I kind of wrote mine down. I don't know how you want to do this. You want me to just like read all my phases? Like,
I'll go through them as you grow up, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, young elementary school, like when I didn't have a Discman or something. Yeah, so whatever's on the radio. And since my dad worked at 1310 CHLW in Cat Country, there was always that on the radio, and eventually, like, they opened up other stations, so it was like, oh, cool, now we're listening to Cool FM and K Rock and stuff like that. So the choices expanded over the years. And then when I was finally able to get a Discman, my like first couple CDs were Sum 41, Does This Look Infected to You?
Nice.
Great one. I had Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction, Greatest Hits, Nickelback, a bunch of their CDs, Billy Talent as well. Then kind of moving on to junior high. It was kind of a weird age because that was kind of like all the rock bands were kind of phasing out, and you're kind of getting the Lady Gagas and all them other people pop songs kind of resurging, I guess. So it's that's when I was an emo kid and I listened to Avenged Sevenfold.
My Chemical Romance kind of kid, yeah.
Yeah, and but also like I started working at the co-op grocery store when I was in junior high. So that's when I got a lot of exposure to like 70s and 80s pop and soft rock songs, like listening to those over and over, like Whitney Houston and Earth, Wind and Fire and Bruce Springsteen, Steely Dan, Rick Astley, like all those. So like even if like an old song comes on, it's like I could probably sing along to it just because like the number of hours I had to listen to that while working. And then in like high school, I started listening to like the Black Keys and started listening to more rap music, like early stuff like DMX and Ice Cube and stuff. And then after high school, got into my party days, so I started listening to like dubstep was really big at the time. So you had Skrillex and I was listening to other EDM like Swedish House Mafia and Monster Cat 007. It's an album, one of the greatest like compilation of like EDM songs, I think. And then I started working at the radio station in Bonneville, so I had to listen to a lot more pop songs like that. Went to radio school, so I had to listen to like every type of music. And then I started working at a country music station. Country music was the thing. It's like I hate country music. Like, and then it's like, well, when you listen to it every day, you learn to like it. So I got
This is
like,
very true.
yeah, so I was like, I like Zach Brown Band, Darius Rucker, like newer guys like that. And then, yeah, same with Eric, like early 2000s and 90s stuff. Like that's always
it holds
good.
up still. Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
And then, like, so, yeah, like, I guess I just learned to appreciate all different kinds of music. The only, like, music I don't really like is, like, the super heavy, like, death metal stuff where it's just like...
Oh, really?
To me, that, like, we're just like... and, like, you can't really, like, understand, like, differentiate, like, the sounds that are happening kind of thing. It's like, it's all just one jumbled thing to me. And like mumble rap and stuff like that. Like, I hate that too.
That's the one thing where I'm like, that's the one type of music I just don't like. Everything else I'll listen to and I'll enjoy. But mumble rapping is
that. Yeah. As long as it got like it has a good beat and a rhythm, I can get behind it. So yeah.
So like even like death metal, like that too. I was so against that for the longest time, but then I watched Metal Apocalypse and then Death Clock, and then I'm like, okay, these are fucking awesome, stupid songs. And it's I listen to that shit too all the time. And yeah, like Norwegian heavy death metal is weird as hell. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, holy, this goes really, really out there. And then I watched this documentary about like rock and roll and heavy metal and everything else. And yeah, that was one of the chapter on that, and how like it's really dark and depraved metal over there. Like, this is weird shit. So I'll stick with what we like over here instead. And it's a little more tame over here, but it's weird, a weird spectrum of like, now I have like that stuff. Our friend Kent got me on the Woo, a Mongolian rock band. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And then the opposite end, I have like the old school like pop songs. Like we listen to the Veronicas the other day, that's on there still, and like some stupid shit like that too. Like it's yeah. And that's been pretty much my like library nowadays. Like whatever is up, I'll listen to it, and I don't really care. So often it's on shuffle. Is one song is a country song, next is a rock, then a pop song, and I go from that. So yeah. And Tyler, what about you, bud?
Well, at a younger age, there's a whole lot of nothing I was listening to. I remember like enjoying at a very young age music from movies. I knew right away that this is like, okay, this is something that I really enjoy, like John Williams music, like the Star Wars music, and it was all very distinct. So then I thought it was kind of cool how like if I heard the music, I would know exactly what it's from. Like every single time if I heard the theme music kind of thing. So that was always kind of like in the back of my mind when I was younger. But then like when I was going to school, elementary and such, it was always country music. And then I remember a couple classmates, they would listen to AC/DC, and I'm like, ooh, I can get on this. Like, this is good stuff. So I would listen to AC/DC quite a bit, and Guns N' Roses listen to quite a bit too. And the Paradise City, I don't know how many times I listened to that song, man. Like, and Def Leppard, and so then later on, like in grade 5 and 6, like I said before, like Aqua and like the Spice Girls, even like I don't care who you are. Like if you didn't enjoy that, you're a fucking liar. So I just listened to them, Blink-182, and then like when Big Shiny Tunes came out, that really introduced me. Like the Tea Party, all those guys. Like I thought they were really good too. Smash Mouth and just the punk rock. I really, really liked punk rock, and Offspring was so good too. It was just kind of funny and still kind of cool and hip and whatever. And and then I started listening to video game music right when high school started. So when Command and Conquer came out, and I remember like actually just sitting there watching the intro video just because I loved the Hell March so much. It was like one of the best theme songs I'd ever heard in my life. Just and the marching in the background, you could just picture like thousands of Soviets marching through the Red Square while this like guitar riff is going off, and it's so good.
So good,
It's so good. It just gets you jacked. You're like, I'm gonna walk up some armies now, with the 16-bit graphics on the game or whatever. But then Command and Conquer Generals came out, so there's like higher production value. Then Metal Gear came out, and I was really drawn to that music. And then movies started getting like better soundtracks too. It wasn't just just orchestras. There was like techno. There was like synths. Daft Punk was scoring movies too, and I'm just like, so I really got into that stuff in high school, like big time. And then Hans Zimmer, I started finding out who each individual composer was. So I'm like, okay, well, who does all these great action epic movies? Oh, Hans Zimmer. Okay, well, who's doing like these really awesome epic video game music scores? I'm like, oh, Harry Gregson Williams. Well, I'm gonna get all their stuff. I'm gonna look them up, and then I find out all the music that they make, and it's like, Jesus. Like, oh, I like the Rainbow Six music. Oh, that's Bill Brown, and he also did Command and Conquer Generals. I'm gonna listen to that. Oh my god! And that's all I used to listen to. Like, and then I would. I remember asking our designated CD burner that we had picked in our class. I'm like, Kate, it's very specific. You have to download this song. It's called Red Tide by Bill Brown from Command and Conquer General. She's like, you're such a nerd. They're like, you got to get it right. I don't want the remix. I don't want the whatever Aftermath soundtrack. It's got to be this one. Like, it was just such a lunatic. Because that's what I would listen to when I was writing, too, because I used to write all the time. So I would listen to that, and I was just huge into movie soundtrack.
I would be so embarrassed to go ask, like,
I didn't give
my
a
friend,
shit.
a girl in my class. Hey, could you download this video game soundtrack for me?
Yeah, she would just look at me like,
no,
half surprised, half not surprised, because I've always been kind of the same personality throughout my life.
More not surprised probably on her. It's like,
she just kept like, really? And then she got it. She actually ended up getting the right stuff too. Yeah, she was awesome. She's such a sweetheart. But put up with my shit all the time. But yeah, and then just recently I find that I'm going back. I'm getting older now, and I go back to what I used to like. Happy part of my childhood music would be, elementary class, kind of like, just kind of starting to get creative and writing and, listening to that kind of music. Like the punk rock was always like, what I was drawn to all the time. So I keep going back to that. I like listening to the new stuff. Like when I had Octane and Sirius XM, I liked some of the newer stuff that was coming out, and I can't right at this very moment think of who they are. And then I had that phase, that Norwegian apocalyptic rock music there, like Serenia and who's that other one? The guy with the really big beard, the blonde beard. What the hell's their name? I'm gonna have to Google it, but I used to listen to them too because they would have like an actual orchestra and like heavy metal too, all mixed in, and then like this amazing lead singer. She just had like this opera style voice, but not too over the top. What the hell is their name?
I think my
sing the song Amaranth. Hold on, I'm gonna get smacked once. I'm gonna smack myself once I find out who. Nightwish.
Yeah.
That's. I can't believe I didn't remember the name of them. I was all over. I had listened to all of their music. Because one of my swampers when I worked for Weatherford had introduced me to it. So I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what I got into.
Mm-hmm.
I was all over the map.
Have you guys, you're older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I am not 30 yet. So maybe it's not like, I haven't gotten to this feeling yet, but have you gotten to the feeling where it's like, you stopped kind of identifying with like new music? You're like, all new music's garbage.
Yeah,
No.
I'm getting there.
I haven't.
Yeah, well, at least when it comes to the genres, like especially in country, where I listen to it a lot at work and at home. So I'm finding it with that. But really, that's about the only one. I'm so far like any other genre, I'm okay with so far. Like, this one niche is I find with country music is more. It's pretty much pop now, so it's like
that's the thing. Country music is going through such a big change that all the big,
I won't even switch to that.
Yeah, all the big like names are trying to end up both on the country charts and the pop charts.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Which is why you get like these kind of like dancey kind of drum beats on all the songs, like the and like it's always got like the weird snap in it and stuff.
Right.
And I don't know. It's
3-chord songs. Yeah, it's a shifting focus, I guess, because it's good for the artist too, because now you have double the audience base, right? So it makes sense. Like Carrie Underwood does both on pop station and on the country station, so she's there making twice the amount of money, pretty much, right? So that makes sense.
There's so many hybrid genres now. Like it's not even you switch to country and it's like go and do the two-step and cowboy. Like, what is this? I thought I switched to a country station. This is like a weird rap pop, with some twang in it, like Kid Rock's Cowboy. Like, what is that even?
Or Old Town Road by
Old Town Road.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? It's a country song, but it's not a country song. It's,
my god,
I
it's
love
like a
that
pop
song.
rap.
I won't lie, I like that song too. I like it a lot. I was speaking of movies though too, Tyler. Like what are you guys some of your favorite like soundtracks from movies and video games and everything else too? Because I know I still have on repeat on my own system is the Pacific Rim soundtrack.
That's a great soundtrack.
That's such a good soundtrack, and it's like not even like it's more an orchestral, it's not like an actual song soundtrack, but it's just like this atmospheric soundtrack, I guess you would call it, and I love it. Like it's one of those like the main theme song, the main intro song, off like the main line. That's my go-to like pump up song. I love it.
Yeah, he's the artist, or I guess the composer, Raman Djawadi. He's come such a long way. Like he used to do just like he did like Idle Hands and a couple other like low budget movies and stuff too. And I think he actually did some of the Game of Thrones stuff too.
Could be, yeah.
He's just kind of like, he's really good.
Like
Pacific Rim is really good.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah,
it's very good. Just gets you all jacked up.
Yeah, that one for like I would say for movies and for video games, I would probably say like RE4. Like Resident Evil games, I think especially have like a great. The older ones did a really good job of giving good atmosphere. I found.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's 7. I want to know what 7. I think is there's probably playing music at all in that. It's mostly just sounds and noises, right? Yeah. So
it literally just it controls your whole feeling is all it is. It's not an actual soundtrack. Like if you listen to it, it's just like it's just sound is all it is. Really, it's just like strings mostly. It's not even like actual themes or anything in there. Not that I've noticed anyway. I haven't really like it didn't stand out enough for me. Which also goes without saying that that's actually doing what it's meant to do, right? Which is to make you feel a certain emotion, right? So it's like sometimes it can be like if you watch a movie and you really notice how good the music is, it takes your attention away from the movie and the story. So if it's like a 50-50, like you're really drawn into the story, but like the music is what makes it, you know, and it's like a good blend, then that's good composing. But if you're, you know, like Brian Tyler, I think is really guilty for this. Every time he makes a movie score, you know, like the movies are usually like mediocre, if not just shitty, and his music makes it a good movie because the music is so freaking good, and it's like the music is carrying the whole film. Like the movie War with Jason Statham and Jet Li is probably his best soundtrack, but the movie is just fucking garbage. It's like one of the worst action movies I've ever seen. It's terrible, but the music score is incredible.
I have to rewatch it because I remember watching the movie, hating it for what was being shown. I never listened to the soundtrack, but now they say that I should give it a once over and see again.
Oh, you should. Yeah. It's like he's got the London Orchestra Symphony, and he's got like, and he's dabbling into like techno in the same time, like, and it's just, and each character has like their own theme, which I didn't really notice because I just did not care for the show at all. It was just so bad, but like the music was just epic on every scale, and it's almost like they put more money into him getting this great big ass orchestra to make the soundtrack instead of, you know, paying good actors and a good scriptwriter.
Scriptwriter, I think, was what failed it. Really,
you kind of screwed up at the very start there, bud. Make a musical if that's what you're going for, but no. But I don't know. For overall music scores, this one is a really tough one for me because I like. You got a good choice. I love it, and like I am on Artlist on. And it's like royalty free music. I find that I'll like just subscribe to it and download it just to listen to it because it's like, oh, here's some being chased in the woods type music. So then you listen to it, it's like, oh yeah, this is what I can see. Okay, and it's like there's like genre specific stuff. And I'll just sit there and listen to that stuff while I'm writing or whatever, right? But I think the one soundtrack that I probably listen to the most for movies is it's probably gonna surprise you guys because it's very common. It's Pirates of the Caribbean by Klaus.
Really?
Man. Hans Zimmer helped out. And there, like, you know, you hear the music, like as soon as the music starts, you know exactly what movie this is from. You know immediately. Yeah. You know, like, or whichever theme it's playing, it's like, oh, this is Jack's. Oh, this is Barbossa's. Oh, this is when they're marching on the seafloor when they're coming towards, you know, the cave, and then so that's how I don't know. That's probably my favorite that I've listened to the most. And then as for a video game soundtrack, it's going to be, well, I'm just going to say all the Metal Gear games by Harry Gregson Williams.
I was going to say that one too, but I figured I'd let you say that one because I knew you were going to say that. So I'm like,
you would have been right. So yeah, it's definitely the best, I think, for sure. And then Frank Klepacki with the Command and Conquer games too, and Bill Brown with Generals. And even Steve Jablonsky when he made Tiberium Wars, that was really good too. Yeah, Command and Conquer, Metal Gear. There, I'll combine them. Fuck it. Since you guys are combining rap and country music.
Yeah.
I'll combine those ones. Yeah, that's mine.
And for Scott, if I had to guess for Scott, I'm not sure for any movies, but I'd say for video games, I would probably say Ocarina be your soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, I can definitely tell like when a video game has like really good music, but it's like a lot of the orchestral stuff I won't like go and listen to it like on its own. So yeah, like Zelda always has fantastic music. Final Fantasy always has fantastic music. The recent Spider-Man games have had amazing music. God of War, those like are all like great like orchestral songs and stuff. I don't like, but yeah, it's like I don't know if I'd like go and listen to them on its own. Mass Effect also has awesome music, cool sci-fi kind of music. As for like movies and stuff like that, it's kind of same deal. Like, you know, you have your Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, where it's like these are fucking amazing songs, iconic songs. It's like, but I'm not gonna bump those in the in the truck though. I'm not gonna be listening to the Shire theme on my way to work.
You're not gonna listen to Orc March, man. Oh, Howard Shore, epic.
But like looking at other, you know, soundtracks that like I listen to a lot. Like Into the Spider-Verse has like one of the most amazing soundtracks ever that just listen on loop. Cobra Kai had like just so many awesome like 80s like rockin' like Eric was saying, like he's on his hair metal kick, and I'm kind of on the same kick because of Cobra Kai. All the great music.
Well, yeah, and like Cobra Kai too, and like Guardians 2 has a great one for that too as well. It brought a lot of old classics back. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, so like they're good. That's great for that.
Yeah, and I thought of another one, but it's just kind of slipped my mind now. But yeah, those are kind of the. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
Say another one. Another one I thought of too while we were talking was the Doom soundtrack, the newer update one as well. Like how that one is.
Yeah, I guess that is the one kind of video game soundtrack I'll listen to on its own is the Doom soundtrack.
But that one too, like how it's not just like a song that plays when you engage, how it changes and evolves as you're playing it. To me, when I first played that and saw that, I was so blown away. It's like, oh, and now it gets intense. The more intense you get, the more intense it gets. And it's great.
Yeah, when I was watching Scott play it when we were living together, he was playing it. I'm like sitting there like nodding my head while Scott was just shredding these demons. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden he stops and it goes to that.
Yeah,
and he goes and attacks and then just fucking goes full tilt.
Yeah,
I'm all revved up now.
No, that was an awesome like production choice on that end because it brought like the whole like rip and tear aspect to it. I loved that so much. It was really great.
Even if you watch the way it was scored too, like the shit that he used to record it, like he had like a 5-string heavy like bass guitar, and then he had old like Soviet communications equipment to do like the weird like I don't even know how to explain it. I can't explain the terminology that he uses, but it's just like it's incredible, man. And it just creates such a distinct sound. It's like one of the most unique soundtracks I've ever heard. That should be also on there too. So I'll pick 3 instead of just 1. That was really good.
Yeah, that was like, I was like, oh yeah, Doom. That was a good one. Really good one.
The second one was pretty good too, but not as good.
But they screwed something up with it in the levels, and it just didn't hit as hard as the first one, unfortunately.
No, it's still like I downloaded like the main theme, like the opening one or whatever, like the main loading screen theme. It's still pretty good, but it doesn't hit you like the first one does.
Yeah. I never played the second one yet. I only played the first one so far, and that was really entertaining for that factor alone. It was just the music.
The game itself though is incredible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah. But that's
that's another good one there too. I don't know. Anything else you guys want to touch on that one at all? Anything else, Scott?
It's really annoying that I can't think of this third movie that I was thinking of, and now I'm gonna think about it after. I can't remember at all. It's just totally out my mind.
But you remember the music from it though? Indiana Jones?
No, it is. It's like it's a licensed songs and stuff like that I'd listen to. But I don't know. I'll probably think about it like 2 hours after we're done recording. I'll be like, God damn it!
I'm sure not your NBA game, like EA games.
I just remembered. Thank you, Eric. You said NBA, and it's fucking Space Jam. Soundtrack is so fucking good. Come on and slam if you want to jam.
Big Cat is signing off. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah. I figured it was like, it's really something with basketball. If I had a hunch, it's
when we were kids, we used to listen to that, and we'd just be like head bobbing. Come on, slam, and we'd like shove each other.
On the volleyball warm-up songs. Oh, look, Space Jam's on. Look at that.
That's actually funny. You're bringing these games up, and now I'm remembering back to like in elementary school, like when I wasn't really listening to music, and most of the music I was listening to were like the songs that were on the NHL games or the songs that were on the WWE games. Like, let the bodies hit the floor. Like,
Right?
all other stuff.
Oh, hell, another one you see that too is Twisted Metal. Had another.
Oh yeah, like the
Twisted
Metal Black.
Zombie all the time. Oh yeah, those were.
Yeah,
those were
Rob Zombie. Yeah, for sure. Like that's when I learned about all these different artists was by playing these games.
Yeah.
Like you play Twisted Metal and then it's like, oh, what's this one? I see a window and I want it painted black, and I'm like, oh, and there you go.
Yeah. Like
Listen to that song
great
for a month.
Soundtracks there too. Yeah. So. Yeah. I know the NHL games too. Like I have NHL, like NHL 13 or 14, I think, on the old Xbox here, and that has one of the best soundtracks too. And like those compilation ones that's when you really learn more of various artists. You're like, oh, actually, I like that song. What else did they play? And you listen to the rest of their album. It's like, oh yeah, now this is a whole other thing with this, and yeah, that's great for that.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to look up the NHL 04, 2004.
2004. Jeez.
Oh, another one that has a really good soundtrack that I actually listen to. It's not music score, obviously. It's just soundtrack. Is what's that one where the whole city's zombies and you're like grinding on everything? Sunset Overdrive.
Oh,
Sunset Overdrive has like it's all punk rock, like, and it's all swearing, filthy songs too. It's that's a good soundtrack. That was really good. It just set the whole tone for the whole game, big time. They just had like Dan Sastine or something. I can't remember the guy's name, but he did like majority of the songs, all in different songs, obviously. But that just set the whole mood for the whole game.
That's something I always wanted to play. I never did play it yet. And
you should. The story is hilarious, and it breaks the fourth wall throughout the whole game. It does not take itself seriously, and that's what makes it so good. Well, it's the same guys that made Spider-Man.
Oh.
And Insomniac?
Insomniac. Yeah,
they're the ones that made that one. And it's open world, and you're basically like this guy that's like a janitor at a concert, and everybody starts drinking this energy drink, and everyone turns into zombies, and you're like the only survivor in the whole city, and there's a handful of survivors, but like you going, and the characters are so freaking funny, man, and it's fucking hilarious, and there's like all these nerds that like these LARPing people are all dressed up in knight's armor, and they're talking like Camelot, and they're like charging into zombies and fighting them and stuff, and then there's like the Mad Max style guys too. They own the amusement park section. They're having like a big war to try and take over all the cool stuff. Oh, it's so funny, man.
Wow, I didn't think nothing of that game.
It's so good. It's just too damn short. That's the only problem with it.
No.
Yeah, burn through that pretty quick. But great soundtrack.
One more thing. Yeah, one more thing, because we've been playing it recently, and that is Red Dead Redemption 2 has a great music as well.
It's okay.
I don't, because I only play the online version of it. I never played the actual story mode, so I don't know what the music is in there. I just hear the world music, but no like actual song.
Whenever they get to like a big like shootout and stuff like that, they have like really good like music, or like the ending part where you're all like riding, and I guess it just all like the music adds in, and like it's good visuals too. So it all just kind of mixes together.
For sure,
it's a good little cherry on top of all the things that is greatness with that game. Yeah, I will say that.
You also said though that the Mandalorian had a good soundtrack, and I thought the music was kind of annoying.
What?
It was annoying.
What?
Sorry, man.
The intro to Mandalorian is so good.
It plays that whole it's world well, that Western.
Exactly. It gets me so hyped whenever I hear that song.
It's like three kids with a trumpet. Like,
no, you're so wrong. You're so wrong.
Sorry, Tyler, you are.
Troll.
Everybody own Tyler in the comments on this episode, please.
Yeah.
Tell him how wrong.
Try me. I don't care.
It's like, he's about to go fuck some people up.
Okay, it's not a bad soundtrack. It's just annoying.
No.
No.
I can see you shaking your head right now. I could just see it.
incorrect opinion.
Okay, I'll give it this. Every time I hear it, it's like, oh, this is Mandalorian music. Okay, that's about as good as it is.
It's for being a tropey show. It's a tropey soundtrack, but it's really good though. That's what I'll say with that.
It's Star Wars Western music, man.
Yeah,
maybe it's the Western theme I just don't dig because like Red Dead, it's the same thing. Like the music's kind of, I don't know, but maybe it's just because every Western I watch has got kind of the same music, and I don't like it.
Exactly
maybe I just don't like Western music. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe,
but
like the Western style music, maybe. Well.
But Jonah Hex had an awesome sound. No, I'm just kidding.
That movie had a soundtrack? Oh God, I don't remember that movie at all.
It's pretty terrible.
Yeah, very
through and through.
Okay, what about the best anime intro song? And that's gonna do it for this episode of the Esteemed Gentleman podcast. We're at 40 minutes. We went a long time. Yeah, that was a good episode.
That was not out of the topic.
Oh,
yeah, we had some fun. So, if you got anything recommendations from us, go ahead.
Yeah, please comment, and if you have any of the soundtracks or songs you think we should listen to and think we like, let us know.
Yeah.
Agree with me about Mandalorian being super mediocre soundtrack.
Tell Tyler he's a dumbass. And his ears don't work, I guess. I don't know. All right. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you for listening. If you liked the episode, like it here on YouTube, subscribe, share with your friends, do all that stuff. Same thing on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Share with your friends. We're trying to grow this thing as big as possible, so eventually we can quit our day jobs. Maybe one day in the future.
That's the dream.
That's the dream. But we'll talk to you tomorrow for the weekly wrap up. We'll see you then.
See you guys later.
See you guys.